joined. We'll give this one more minute and then we'll start. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. My name is Rami Tabbara. I'm the co-founder and co-CEO of Stake. With me today is Sarah, who's our head of marketing and strategic partnerships. Basically, what we're going to talk about today is 2024 in review, talk about the market, give you a quick intro on Stake, what we see happening in 2025, give you a quick overview of our stake portfolio over 2024, and then we'll leave it up to Q&A at the end as usual. Cool. So intro on stake for those of you that don't know. By the way, just side note, what I love and I'm finding this very interesting is for the first time, a lot of our attendees have no AI note takers. Just shows you how AI is really taking over the world. I find this super cool. We started using it at the office recently, and it's just changed our life in terms of note taking for meetings. So it's great to see. Cool. So stake. Real estate is a popular asset class, as we all know. There's a huge affinity to real estate in our part of the world. Everyone wants a piece of real estate. You're raised from when you're young. If you make some money, put it into real estate. But as we all know, traditional real estate is not cheap and it's not easy. It's very clunky, restricted access. It's inconvenient. You have to put a lot of money into an asset class that is, you're not buying a pair of shoes. You're buying into one of the most expensive asset classes ever. It's also a concentration, so you're putting all your money into one asset class. It's not as transparent. We always say that the market is getting a lot more transparent, but still, access to information at your fingertips is not something that is readily available. Um, it's illiquid, so when you buy into a property, it's not something that you can sell overnight. And then in this part of the world, the alternatives to investing in real estate, instead of buying a full home and going to the bed at night knowing that you owe a bank through a mortgage, or buying something off plan and waiting 4 to 5 years to see your property, or putting all your cash into one property. There are no alternatives in our part of the world to investing in real estate. And this is why we really believe that, Stake enables people and empowers people to invest in real estate in a transparent, fractional, digital, and on an app, very easy way. So what does Stake do? It empowers everyone to own and build wealth through real estate, starting from 500 dirhams. You can do it in 3 minutes. We really like this stat. It's 14,400 times faster than the traditional way of buying. It allows you to diversify. So, as I was saying, concentration risk, putting all your money into one property. What Stake enables you to do is put some money and spread it across different properties. So you can, put some in downtown, some in Marina, some in JVC. You can really spread, your property. And we see that there's always vacancy risk. So if one of your properties is vacant, you still have other properties bringing you in income. It's fully transparent. We are now one of the only, if not the only, digital real estate investment platform that's fully regulated by two regulators. In Dubai, we're regulated by the Dubai Financial Services Authority, and in Saudi Arabia, we're regulated by the CMA, which is the Capital Markets Authority. So we're fully transparent, fully regulated. The beauty of investing on Stake is you're buying into income generating properties, so it's not off plan. And we allow you to, by doing that, we enable you to earn rental income at the end of every month. And then one thing we're talking about liquidity. One thing that we've built and we keep on improving is something called our exit windows, whereby investors can sell their stakes on our platform every 6 months at a price based on the market valuation, and then you can set the discount that you want. For every seller, we've had 4 buyers. It's a pretty liquid secondary market, or exit window, as we call it, that enables you to really, if you want to exit, you can. Since we launched the business in January 2021. We've had some great results. We've become the leading real estate investment platform in the region. We have over 906,000 registered users. Our app's been downloaded 1 million times. We have investors from over 165 countries, 200 nationalities. We have transacted just under 700 million dirhams, which is the leading transaction number in the market. We've paid out over 25 million dirhams in rental income. And if you just look at our growth since we launched, Q4 2024 is when we launched, December 2024 is when we launched Saudi Arabia. And we see our GMV now just, growing, our total sales on the platform and transactions just growing over in 2025. I expect us to hit the 1 billion mark, which is the mark that we're, very excited to reach by the end of Q1, start of Q2 of 2025. For our 2024 market update, what's going on in the market, how's the real estate market performing, the trends, everything, I'll pass it on to my colleague, Sarah.
Right, hello everybody. Pleasure to be here with you all. So yeah, we're going to dive into what happened in the real estate market in 2024. So to start with, taking a look back at what transactions look like. For anybody that maybe knows the Dubai real estate market really well, you will know that off-plan has been the common theme that we're hearing a lot, especially last year. If you look on the right-hand side, you'll see what the residential sales transactions have looked like over the previous few years. So that green part of the graph there, that's showing the off-plan under construction units. So what we witnessed last year was kind of some stabilizing in the ready market, but the off-plan, we've seen a lot of growth, and we'll talk through what that supply looks like in a few slides. Um, I don't think it's any surprise why we're seeing this level of transactions, but really it does come down to Dubai being a really fantastic place to live, to work. We're seeing high migration, the population growth we'll go into as well, that we're definitely seeing a lot more attraction coming into this market. When we look at the transaction growth as well, and we look at that in terms of values, we have seen a 13% increase versus 2023. So not as much of an increase as we saw 21 to 22 and 22 to 23, but we're definitely still seeing those sales values increase. So I think it's important to look back on why everyone's coming to Dubai. Why is Dubai kind of at the helm of it all? So the 2040 vision is what Dubai is setting out to be the best city in the world. So some of their objectives are to make the city more interconnected. We've got a population growth to double the population to 5.8 million people. There's a lot when it comes into education and making sure we expand education, not just within Dubai, but also across the UAE. And transport is a really, really big thing we're trying to work on here. I think we've gone from a city that was very segregated in terms of the communities, and now it's really understanding how we connect those different communities and make it an easy place to travel and commute around. Traffic right now in Dubai is pretty tough. If you're not here, you're lucky because the traffic is pretty intense at the moment, but it's really understanding how we can connect the city better. And one of the initiatives as part of that and part of the 2040 vision is the 20-minute city. So Expo City Centre is actually a really good example of this, and it's making sure you can get through work, leisure, healthcare within a 20-minute radius. So there's a lot of initiatives between how we build and how we construct cities here, how we build smart cities, again, how they become more interconnected. And this is a big part of the real estate pillar of Dubai 2040. So, population growth. We're now at a stage of population reaching 3.8 million. And I think what's interesting when we look at this population growth is understanding what population that is, who is migrating here, who is specifically, how does that then impact the real estate market? And schools is a really good indication of that. So school enrollment from the previous year, from 23 into 24, we saw a 12% increase. We're seeing again another 6% increase in enrollments in the current year of 24-25. There's some new master schools that are coming. We've got 10 new schools that are opening as well. And this is a really big indication of the type of people that are moving here. So go back maybe 10 years ago, Dubai was a city that you would have typically young professionals come out for a couple of years, earn great money, go home. That has completely changed, especially since COVID, since people coming here, buying houses, settling with their families, and having families here. So this is a big indication of the type of buyers that we're also seeing in this market. It's always important to look at the investor versus end user share. Users are making up more of that, and that's because the type of population that we've now got in the country. But a growing population, they need homes to live in. So, as I showed you on one of the previous slides, we've got a high amount of off-plan that was transacted in 2024. And when we look forward in the future years, it's important to look at how does that supply look like? How is it distributed? Now, we need well over, I believe it's about 1.3 million homes that are needed to cater to this demand. There's a lot of supply that is needed to house the growing population. So if you look at upcoming years and where the supply is coming, a lot of that supply is coming in about 2026. But as mentioned, it's needed supply. So we only had about 35,000 homes hand over in 2024. So we're still seeing supply constraints. Those supply constraints are typically in a lot of the prime areas, some of the luxury end of the real estate as well. And that's again feeds back to why us at Stake we're very selective on where we invest and what we invest in. Because supply, we definitely have to monitor and look at supply. So we've got 14 years to now double the population. So all of this supply that's coming into the market is really to cater towards that. So, going back to population, who's moving here? How are they moving here? One of the biggest things that's really interesting is the millionaire migration. So, this is a Henley Private Wealth Migration Report. Henley, essentially, the largest migrator of high net worth individuals around the world. Now, when we look at where millionaires are coming to, this is their 2024 forecast. We're starting to see some actual figures actually come out now as well. So if you look on the left-hand side, this is where the kind of exodus was. So this is where millionaires were leaving. China being number one, UK very stark, number two, followed by India, South Korea, and Russia. You'll actually see there was about 9,500 that was expecting to leave the UK last year, that we're now up to 10, almost 11,000 actually left the UK. That's come out in the last couple of days. If we look to where's absorbing that millionaire migration, UAE is number one. We're also starting to understand that figure is larger than what we can already see on the screen. So that's 6,700, followed by USA. With Trump now in, I'm sure USA will also take more of the millionaire migration, but USA, Singapore, Canada, and Australia. I think it's really interesting to look at where is absorbing those millionaires. Where are they making it attractive for millionaires to live, do business? What does the tax situation look like versus what you see on the left? So UAE is definitely benefiting from the millionaire migration. What that does then to this market is, especially on the luxury end of the market, there's high activity. So the last few years, luxury has been a really important segment of this market. There's been a lot of focus on how that is transacting. What does the supply look like? The supply is constrained, though, it really is. And there's a lot of comparison to other parts of the world. So I think it's interesting to always look at some of the other key cities when we look at luxury real estate. So if you look on the left-hand side, you'll see the total number of homes that typically the prime area is $10 million or more. Now, the total number of sales, if this is from Q2 alone, just Q2 2024, Dubai was dominating with 94, well ahead of New York, Hong Kong, Miami, and LA. If we look on the right, reason being is because it's still cheap. And it might seem ironic to say, but what you can get for your money in Dubai compared to these other major cities is still very good. So it's very important to understand that yes, the market is growing, yes, luxury is constrained, but still when high net worth millionaires compare it to other cities, Dubai is still relatively affordable. So what I'll do now is I'll hand back over to Rami and we'll talk through what's next for 2025, what we think is going to be on the horizon.
Thanks, Sarah. So we believe Abu Dhabi is going to have an unbelievable and a massive opportunity for investors to participate in. If you look at the price per square foot versus Dubai, value for money is still there. It's still less than Dubai, and there's a lot of fantastic opportunities that are coming, a lot of infrastructure that's being built, a lot of touristic projects are being built. The market has been stable since 2020 with incremental price growth. Uh, Obviously, Abu Dhabi is getting increased tourism and international attention. I don't know who was here, but Coldplay brought in a lot of people over 4 days. Hotels were at almost 100% occupancy. You can see that Abu Dhabi is really establishing itself as a destination for people from around the world. Abu Dhabi, this was announced literally 48 hours ago, 24 hours ago, by His Excellency, the CEO of Mubadala, Khaldoon Mubarak. Abu Dhabi aims to become the world's fully AI native government with AI integrated to every department within 2 years. He was specifically speaking of how important AI is, and for Abu Dhabi to really take that initiative, really sets it apart from other cities around the world. Abu Dhabi tourism body is planning to invest more than $10 billion in infrastructure as part of its new major tourism strategy. And then you see companies, we talk about BlackRock, which is the world's largest asset manager, is moving to Abu Dhabi or setting up an office in Abu Dhabi. What I'd like to add to that is it's not just BlackRock, but the biggest PE companies, the biggest family offices are all relocating and setting up shop in Abu Dhabi because of how strategically located it is and how financially friendly and open it is. So, that just shows you the demand and what's going to happen to the real estate market. I'll say something at stake. Stay tuned. This year we will be operating or look to operate out of Abu Dhabi. So, we believe in this market a lot. So stay tuned for some exciting announcements coming this year. So everyone's been talking about something which has basically changed the way the rental market is in Dubai. Before people would go to the rental calculator to see, what's going on, how much can the landlord increase the price, where do you fit as a tenant. Just recently, there's a new smart calculator or smart rental index that was announced by the Dubai Land Department, which basically changes the way landlords can increase the price, and it's a lot more intuitive. So it's not just the average of the last, 12 months. They look at real lifetime data on what the prices should be. And we believe that this is really going to bring in the transparency that the market needs in terms of, landlord and tenant relationships. And I think bringing that transparency where there's no discrepancies or ambiguity, as I like to always say, is it really brings that to the relationship between the landlords and just basically the whole rental market. Landlords can now see what the yields are going to be. Tenants will know that they're not overpaying or underpaying. So that's something that's very exciting. But I'll just say something that, like any other developed market around the world, as prices go up of properties, sometimes rental does not follow as fast. And when that happens, what you call it is yield compression. So the rental yields start being compressed. I mean, if you look at the major cities around the world, Dubai is very fortunate because the yields are always anywhere between 5 to 7%. In other major cities like New York, London, Tokyo, Hong Kong, Los Angeles, all these major cities, the yields are in the low 2%. So, Dubai still has an advantage over those cities. But as prices continue to increase and Dubai continues to establish itself as one of the major gateway cities around the world, the yields are going to get compressed. So, we really want to make sure that, our investors and users are aware of that. But this is good because you know that now you have a stable market and fluctuations are a lot less. So your yields are going to be consistent and your capital appreciation will be consistent over time rather than having these big increases, which kind of creates a lot of uncomfortable situations for investors because it creates uncertainty. Whatever goes up very fast tends to fall very fast. So when you have that consistency and stability, that shows a very healthy market. So what we do is we release, an investor report. We just recently released ours. We do this every 6 months. We recently launched our H2, our second half 2024 portfolio performance review. And I'll touch on a couple of it. You can download it off where is it, Sarah? Now it's on our website, so you can download it. If you haven't gotten it, please email us on contact@getstake.com. We'll make sure you get a copy. I'll go over some of the main points. The second half of 2024 showed strong growth across Stake's portfolio. Just literally, we did over 306 million of dirhams that was transacted on the platform on Stake in 2024, of which 194 million of that was in the second half. And it just shows you between the second half of 2023, first half of 2024, and kind of what we did in first half 2024 and what we did in the second half of 2024. The growth is there, which shows you how much demand there is for residential real estate in Dubai, but also how much comfort and investor confidence they have in our platform, which is great to see. And we thank all our investors and users. Also, part of what we do is, funding speed. How long does it take to actually get the demand or fill up the demand for the properties? And if you look at when we launched the business, it's 48 days. So all our early investors kind of had to wait to get that rental income. And our commitment to you was always to really grow our business and ensure that it's fully transparent and credible, but also ensuring that you're getting your rental income on time, every month. So, I'm very proud of the team and what we've established in 2024. We've really reduced over, the last 4 years from 48 days all the way down to 10 days. So basically, we're one of the fastest buyers of ready residential real estate in the market. And, we work with some of the top brokers and they love working with us because really we buy good real estate. And we are quick to transact because of the power and the strength of the investors that we have on the platform. One thing that I'd like to highlight is over 20 properties were funded in less than 1 hour, and the fastest in just 4 minutes. So imagine literally we put a property on the platform, 4 minutes it was sold. We get a lot of complaints from investors saying, "Oh, by the time I got the email or notification, it was already sold," which is why we introduced something called Auto Invest that enables you to set how much you want to invest at the end of every month, whatever, based on the category of the property. If it's high yield, balanced, capital appreciation, and then you can set that amount so that you never miss out on the property. Total properties we've funded, if you want to just go back to that, it's 338 properties, which is great, and our portfolios keeps on growing. We expect to finish this year at over 800 properties, which makes our investors some of the largest landlords in the market, which is something that we really should be proud of. Next slide, please. So we now, one of the major things that we look at is we always look at the market, the areas, the neighborhoods, and see which neighborhoods have both high yield and opportunities or, the potential for high capital appreciation. So we run this through our data. Over the last 4 years, we've gathered so much data on, on, on neighborhoods, developers, sizes of apartments, yields, prices, all that stuff. And what we've done now is we've really started to expand into communities we believe that really present high returns for our investors. So operate across 25 communities in Dubai. We focus on, immediate returns, long-term growth potential, as I just said. We introduced 5 neighborhoods in 2024, which were Dubai South. And obviously, for those of you that know or don't know, I'd like to say this: they're introducing the largest airport in the world there. It's going to be the busiest airport in the world. So there's a huge opportunity to really participate in this area right now. If I gave you an opportunity to buy real estate next to the Dubai International Airport while it was being built, would you have bought? And 100% or 99% of the people would say yes. So this is the opportunity to do that in Dubai South. We've also introduced Al Furjan, Al Barari, which is a fantastic community, Reem, and Dubai Harbor. Dubai Harbor, for those of you as well, it's right next to the marina. You drive there, there's the biggest cruise ships. It's an unbelievable area developed by, Ahmad is the master developer. There's other developers like Shoba that are developing there as well, and H&H. So it really is up and coming. So, part of what we do is really want to diversify and give you the opportunity to participate in the prime areas and the up and coming areas in Dubai. One thing also that we introduced, I know we've done a lot of webinars on it, but it's something that I'm very proud of and excited about. It's called the fix and flip, whereby we identify properties that have the high potential to really take them. They're a bit run down. We upgrade them, and then we look to sell them, and within a shorter period, so 12 to 18 months from after the construction period or the upgrade period is done. I'd like to really highlight this as Dubai becomes a more established market. If you go anywhere in the world, there's a huge business where people go into older buildings, especially in Dubai, because all the new builds, all the properties have become smaller in size. So if you want size today, I remember in the old days when I first moved to Dubai, over 20 years ago, you'd get a one bedroom that was over 1,000 square feet. Today, one bedrooms have shrunk to around 750 to 800 square feet. So if you want to buy something in an established community, you'd have to go to an older building, but with a very good developer, and then you'd have to upgrade that unit, which happens all over the world. So we've identified there's opportunities there whereby we get these, whether it's a villa or an apartment, we upgrade them and we enable you to realize that capital appreciation because of the upgrades quite sooner. We have a property right now that's available. It's a villa. Can't get into the specifics as per regulation. You'd have to create an account, but it's a villa that is a fix and flip in a highly desirable location, and we've partnered up with the best contracting flip company out there called K4. And then obviously Stake Saudi is live, something that we're super proud about. For the first time ever, investors from all over the world can participate in one of the fastest moving and high growth potential countries in the world, focused on Riyadh. For those of you who don't know, Vision 2030 in Riyadh is something that is, a phenomenal vision in terms of what they want to achieve. Just focusing on real estate, Riyadh needs 115,000 homes a year, every year for the next 6 years. When you look at that, it just shows you the amount of demand that's going to be needed there. So our first fund is now available there. It's uh, in Riyadh as well. I can't get into the specifics. It's actually close to being funded. So if you want to participate in this market and get access to high yields, please download the app and really invest and get onboarded into Stake Saudi Arabia. That's it for our kind of our material, our content that we want to talk about. It's your turn to ask us any questions. I know we have my colleague Muhammad Burhan answering them live, but we'll go through them here and see if there's anything that hasn't been answered. We'd love to answer them live. We really tend to leave around 25 to 30 minutes at the end to just answer any questions you guys have. So we're getting questions on, who can invest in Saudi Arabia. As I just said, anyone from anywhere in the world can invest in Saudi. Um, does it is it one platform? Yes, it's one app. And we're actually in the process of simplifying how you switch between markets. But literally one app, you can download it and go through creating account on both countries, go through the KYC, and yeah, you'll be able to invest from the same app. Um, So just one question on Saudi Arabia. We the first deal is a huge commercial. It's something very different to what we do in Dubai. It's a retail plaza, and you can see that when you download the app and see the property. It's a much bigger scale than what we've done in Dubai, and obviously because the regulation in Saudi Arabia allows us to do that, so you'll be able to see that when you download. Extend properties to Abu Dhabi. Yes, please stay tuned. We cannot wait to be live there. Hopefully, we can be live there very soon. We're working on regulation as we speak. Um, is there a minimum amount? The minimum amount is 500 dirhams in Dubai and 500 riyals in Saudi Arabia. Sarah, if you want to take some, or you can't see the. Oh, okay. Okay. So do we accept Bitcoin or cryptocurrency? We do not right now. It's also something that we're looking to work with our regulator to do that. Will Saudi investment lead to the premier residency? That's a great question. Not yet, but we're working on that. Just so you know, if you invest in Dubai, you get the golden visa. It took us close to 2 years to convince the regulator to allow us to do that and the authorities. So we're in the process of doing that, and hopefully, when we can do that, we'll be announcing it very soon. Can we have one wallet, please, for both markets, UAE and KSA? We'd love that. It's something that we're studying, but obviously that needs regulatory approval. And again, we're speaking to the regulator about it. So what are the advantages for investing with stake versus a REIT? That's a great question. We actually put out some content yesterday on it. We believe that investing in stake gives you the ability to control what you want to invest in, while REITs, they choose for you. So yeah, on stake, you have the power of choosing which property exactly you want to invest in. You get the full transparency, full information on what the yield is, what the returns are. But also, most importantly, is you're not linked to what the market fluctuates. So if the market, stock market tends to go through ups and downs, your underlying asset value does not get affected. In REITs, it does. On stake, it doesn't, which we think is very important. Are we considering to reduce the selling period? It's a great question. We get asked that a lot. But the thing is, in real estate, we really believe and stand behind the fact that it's a long-term investment. So if you decide, and we only ask for people to lock in for a year, because usually when you try to sell a property less than a year, there's obviously fees involved. There's a land department fee, there's a brokerage fee, there's our fee. So if you do that and you try to sell within a year, if the market didn't appreciate to that level, then you're actually going to be losing money. So that's why we tend to tell people, and we prefer that the exits happen after 1 year so that you've given yourself enough time to make capital appreciation and some rental returns so that you actually don't lose any money when you're looking to exit. You can see some now?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Um, okay, so a couple of questions on caps that we have for investment per year. So yeah, we have a cap of $100,000 for retail investors in Dubai. So the way it works in Dubai is we have retail and professional clients. Retail clients can invest up to that $100,000. These are set by the DFSA, our regulator here in Dubai. So if you want to classify as a professional investor, and invest more than $100,000, what you need to do is prove a net worth of more than $1 million through statements, crypto holdings, residences. And once that's done and proves a net worth of $1 million, you can classify as a professional investor. As a professional investor, there's no cap on how much you invest, and you'll also be able to invest with credit card as well. Couple of questions on the documents needed to invest. So in Dubai, passport and proof of address is all you need. In KSA, you just need to do your passport or national ID and fill in a suitability questionnaire as well. So you can switch between the products. If you go to your settings, you'll be able to switch and you can onboard to both products there. Uh, Question on if we can do fractional real estate in Saudi. So yes, this is something we would love to do. Right now, we're focusing on real estate funds, but we obviously understand the fractional business model very well because we've done it in Dubai. So yes, our goal is to be able to do fractional, but we funds are our focus right now in the KSA market. Um, Another one here, do you see an opportunity for your business model to go through tokenization of real estate? So, look, tokenization is something that we're aware of, we monitor, we always keep on top of what's happening. But there's still not been a good use case of this really at scale yet. We believe we can still do what we do through fractional ownership. But we're always open and looking to new technologies and making sure we adapt. So it's something we have our eye on. It's not on our plans right now, but I think it's something that could be in the future. I've had some good comments on the development we've chosen in Saudi. It's a good development that we've got in Saudi Arabia. Thank you. If anyone has not onboarded to Saudi, check it out. Have a look at what our development is there. It's very exciting. And yes, the report and the webinar recording will be sent to you afterwards. Got a few requests for that as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Can you go over the max limits, please? So I don't know if you didn't take that one, did you? You did? Oh, okay. So sorry. Will you be able to get a certificate of what I own with stake to support my other properties and apply for a golden visa? So you get share certificates that shows exactly how much you've invested on stake. You get a copy of the title deed, but we don't know that the authorities will enable you to club that with your other properties. So that's something we can't answer. However, if you do invest 2 million dirhams on stake, then you will get a golden visa. That's straightforward. We've already issued a lot of golden visas, and you'd be able to get that. I think you answered the Dubai business model. Okay, say, what's the timeline from start to finish for the investment? It really depends. We've bought properties in 2021 on our platform that were sold within 2 years. We have properties that haven't been sold yet because the rental returns are pretty good, which is why we usually say that the timeline is 5 years, but within the 5 years, as an investor, you can exit and your shares, your stakes, on our exit windows. Would you be able to relook at fees on the stake platform? We're always open to looking at fees. Please, if you have any thoughts on that, send them across. We really believe that our fees are market standard. There's a lot of work that goes on. You have to keep in mind that for our users, they just download the app and they're basically able to see all the income and they get the income and the portfolio view and everything. But there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes to make sure that the properties are fully occupied, the prices, the acquisitions, the upkeep, the maintenance, all that stuff. So, we really, the team does a lot of work to ensure that the investors are getting paid on time every time. So, but again, we're always open to suggestions. Uh, so that's a great question. Can you use stake to buy a property, or find properties with good price? Uh, we'd love to assist you with that. We have an unbelievable acquisitions team with a lot of data, so we are more than happy if you email us at contact at GetState to help you with your property purchase needs. Will the new UAE tax regulations affect your activities and investors' return? As of now, no. The properties are not taxed. If that changes in the future, then we would be made aware, and obviously we'd let you know. Um, any plans to list stake in Dubai or Abu Dhabi stock market? This is our fifth year. Obviously, our dream would one of our dreams would be to be listed on the stock market, but that's too early for us right now. Will exit windows be applied in KSA as well? Yes, we're working on that with the regulator, and we will have an answer for that fairly soon. But the regulator seems to be open about it, and we should have a definitive answer to you very soon. Any plans to host more in-person events to raise more funds? That could be a good idea. Sarah's on the call, so if we can always arrange, more events or gather with potential investors to do that. So yeah, that's something that we'll take on board. Um, is the yield better in Saudi? So I can't be specific, but I can say one thing that, yields in Dubai, we got asked what is the average portfolio. It's around 5.8% in Dubai. In Saudi Arabia, the deals that we're seeing are north of 8%. So, different markets, different yields. Uh, So I'm based in South Africa. I want to invest in property in the UAE. Will the app be convenient for me in terms of transferring the funds? Yeah, you can invest via a bank transfer or a debit card. And people tend to use Revolut or TransferWise if they're not using a normal bank transfer, or they use their debit cards. Both work. And then you can use your credit card if you qualify yourself as a professional investor, which basically means net worth of over $1 million. Um, Auto investment mode, the funds can be withdrawn whenever we need them, or we will wait for the sale. So on auto investment, the funds, you can withdraw your rental income whenever you want. But whenever you want to sell your stake, you'd have to wait for the exit windows. I think so.
Okay, so we've got some on I don't live in the country. How do I know what areas to purchase? Auto Invest is a great product for you. You can completely diversify across different areas. One thing I will say though is, Stake isn't like a marketplace. Stake is vetted deals. So whatever you see has already been through kind of stakes check to make sure it's a good solid investment opportunity. But Auto Invest would be a great start for somebody who doesn't really know Dubai or the communities particularly well. Is there an emergency exit option? So yeah, look, we have our exit windows. So for those that don't know, exit windows are in May and November twice a year. Rami mentioned at the start of the call, it's where we have a market where individuals can buy and sell. That will be an exit option. But look, real estate we still believe is a long-term hold. But that's kind of your emergency lever if you need it. You can use those exit windows. How long does it take from investing until you receive your first income? So we do have a rental guarantee. So this means that you wait no more than 2 months until you receive your first rental income. So depending on the unit, it might be vacant on transfer, or we have to find a tenant, or there might be a tenant already in there. But to make sure that there's no delays on receiving your rental income, we've got the rental guarantee in place for that. Questions on KSA. Do we expect more funds in KSA other than the current one on the platform? Yes. KSA, the way it works is slightly different. Whereas in Dubai, you would see multiple units at one time. Because in KSA, our funds are much larger, we'll typically do one at a time. So we'll fund the first fund and then we'll move on to the next one. So yes, we're currently building that pipeline and make sure we've got good investment opportunities for you in KSA. Finding it hard for my proof of address to be approved. Can you help me on this? Sure, please message us contact@getstake.com. The team is super responsive. We'll be able to help you with any issues you're having on your onboarding. Any plans? I had two more questions. Any plans to do Dubai model in KSA? Look, again, we're focusing on funds right now, but as we grow and as we scale, as we work with the regulator there, fraction is something we could definitely look towards. Can we invest up to 2 million dirham as an individual investor without being a professional investor? So you can, but it would take some time because we've got that limit in the UAE of $100,000 per calendar year. You would have to take a few years to get up to the 2 million, but yes, you definitely can. But if you can and you are able, switching to a professional investor would be the optimal route to get the golden visa. What's next for KSA? Stay tuned. You'll hear from us soon. There's a lot going on in KSA. We've got expanding our team on the ground. We've got an office there now. We're seeing great growth and great market there. We're a fairly new company in KSA, but the appetite that we've seen already is very impressive. So you'll see more funds coming soon. Where's this one? Is there a total amount of investment commitment whenever we pick a property? So again, $100,000, minimum is 500. Question here on how Stake is different from Smart Crowd. Look, like there's different businesses that do similar to what we do, but with the market leader, we've done kind of, I'd say, 10x on some of the figures of other people. So we work really hard. We have a very, very great team here. And I would just say look at the numbers for yourself in terms of when you're assessing different options. Will there be a different rewards program for each country, or will it be the same rewards program? Uh, Keep an eye out. This is something we're really working on, and you'll hear from us soon on the rewards program for KSA and what we're doing to bring that together. So you'll hear from us in the next few weeks on that, which is cool. Will the exit windows be applied in KSA as well? So right now we don't have exit windows built in KSA, but that's not saying that we won't bring them to KSA. It's something again we are looking to doing. There's no guarantees, but we are planning to bring those over to KSA also.
Okay. One question regarding tax. There isn't capital gains tax in KSA, but there is a tax on distribution for non-resident investors, which is 5%. When you download the app and you're on the KSA side, you'll see exactly what the tax is like. And can I invest in several properties at a time? If I come to visit, can I stay in a property? You can invest in several properties at a time, but unfortunately, you can't stay at the property because they're most of the time rented. Our occupancy rate is over 90%. So most of the time, they're going to be rented. Can you please outline the process for transitioning to professional investor? So basically, we can assist you in becoming a professional investor. We can connect you with the team. If you go to the app and say qualify myself to professional investor, you'll be directed to our team, which will assist you. You just basically need to prove that your net worth is above $1 million outside of your primary residence, and you can do that by a copy of the title deed, a bank statement, or a proof of investments. And the advantage is you can invest with no limits. So the limit today for retail investors in Dubai is $100,000. In Saudi Arabia, it's 200,000 riyals per fund. In Dubai, it's $100,000 per year. If you're a professional investor, you can invest unlimited amounts, so you don't have a cap. And you can use a credit card versus as a retail investor, you can only use a debit card. So that's something that you get as a professional investor. How do we guarantee rent income in time for newly purchased units? So at the end of the day, we have something called the rental guarantee, whereby if we're ever delayed in the transfer of properties for up to 3 months, you'll get paid your rent on time every time at the end of every month. Can you become a sales agent where we bring customers? If yes, of course. We always have introducer arrangements, so please reach out to contact@getstake.com and we can arrange that for you. Um, So do investors benefit from the potential increase in the value of property? Of course, properties increase in price, and whenever the property is sold, or you exit on the exit windows, you exit at the latest market valuation. In KSA, it's a bit different in Saudi Arabia. It's a fund, and at the end of the fund, fund term, which is 4 years, the property will be exited, and you will see your appreciation from the exit as well. Um, Any questions? Don't see anything we haven't answered. What is the timeline from start to finish for the investment? Usually from when the property is listed on the platform, as I said, an average of 10 to 11 days, the property is fully funded. We expect 2025 to be even faster. And then within, I would say, a maximum of 4 weeks, you'll be getting your documentation, which is your ownership documentation. And then you'll start getting your income. So literally from the time it's listed, I would say to getting your first rental check, you're looking at a maximum of 2 months. That would be the literally the maximum. Uh, Yeah, can we confirm that that our investments on the platform are Sharia compliant? Yes. So that's another just differentiator between us and other platforms. We have the we are Sharia certified, and we are regulated by the DFSA and the CMA in Saudi Arabia. So as I mentioned earlier, we're dual regulated. One of the only platforms, well, the only platform here in the UAE that's dual regulated, but also we're Sharia certified. And by the regulator, we have something called operating an Islamic window, which allows us to offer only Sharia compliant investments on the platform.
Just had a question on I have to manually reinvest my income. Are you changing this? Yes. So keep an eye out. Something's coming quite soon on this. It's definitely been something that our investors have been asking for. So there will be a solution coming very, very soon for reinvesting your rental income.
I would say as soon as next week. So
Committed.
I always get told off by Sarah. I get too excited and I just announce
Tell
everything.
everyone everything.
So yeah,
Any more questions? Please pop them in the box.
we just got one question. The Augusta developers are offering 10% net yields. Any thoughts? Would you consider that? With all due respect to all developers, anyone who offers 10% net yields, I would be worried. Second of all, I've never even heard of the Augusta, and I've been in the market for over, 20 years. So with all due respect, I would worry. I wouldn't, I mean, anyone who says that, I would really look into it. And yesterday I got asked the question, what advice would I give anyone who's looking to buy in the Dubai real estate market? Please do your homework. Speak to more than one broker. speak to more than one agent, speak to more than one developer. Please do your homework. Because at the end of the day, as I always say, you're not buying a pair of shoes, you're buying property. If you buy the wrong property, it can severely hurt. And I've made that mistake before, which is one of the main reasons why I launched this business, and so did my co-founder Manar. Please do your homework. So a developer called Augusta offering 10%, I would be nervous. With all due respect to Augusta, I don't know if they're on the call, but that's my opinion. Uh, when receiving rental income, do you receive it into our wallet or transfer to your bank account? You receive it straight into your wallet, and then you can withdraw it back to your bank account anywhere in the world. It's very straightforward. We're introducing something new as well this year that will even make it faster than it's been. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Uh, yeah, we did this.
Quite a few people asking about real estate, how to get into real estate. They follow Rami on LinkedIn. Best experience you can do is follow the right creators on LinkedIn and get involved in the real estate market if it's something you're interested in. I think Dubai is a fantastic place with real estate. There's always something new, something happening, something developing. So I think we've got a few people asking about that.
There's one. What advice would you give to someone starting their career in real estate? It's a great question. I've been doing this now for 20 years, in the market for 20 years. I would say be patient, learn your stuff, and know that it's not easy. And it's a lot more competitive than when I came here in 2006. The market is a lot more competitive. So I would say definitely learn the market, be patient, and be ready to really fight hard because it's a very competitive market, but it's also one of the most rewarding markets in the world. You tell me which other city is being built at the pace that Dubai is being built, or in general the United Arab Emirates is being built, which enables you to make a lot of money here. So yeah, it's also super rewarding. Title deed describes our ownership on the property in question. What could be the description of a deed certificate in the case of a large property like Mulkiya and KSA? Great question. So you'll be getting a fund certificate, a share certificate, which shows your ownership into the property. Um, Super transparent. It's straightforward. As I said, we're regulated by the Capital Markets Authority, so all the documents that you get are fully approved and transparent as per the government. Do any do and not sure this was covered. Do investors benefit from the potential increase the value of property? Yes, they do. As I said, especially you're asking especially about KSA. The fund term is 4 years. At the end of the fund term, the property is exited, and it's exited at the last price, the last valuation. And I'll just say something for people that are not aware. In the next 10 years, Saudi Arabia, specifically Saudi, has the World Cup, has the Expo, and has the Asian Cup. So you can imagine what happened in the UAE when there was the Expo, what happened to Qatar when there was the World Cup, or any global city when happened when there was a World Cup. The next 10 years are some of the most exciting years for the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Um, so have you or Sarah invested in the deals on the app? Unfortunately, in Dubai, as per the regulation, we're not allowed. However, in Saudi Arabia, we are, and we have. So yeah, I'd love to invest on deals because there's some great deals on the platform. Um, have we experienced any default scenario from tenants not paying? Yes. Unfortunately, that's always the case. And we have to deal with it through the legal channels. We go through the courts. It's a long and tedious process. But we've streamlined it, and at the end of the day, yes, there are cases where tenants default. It's just the fact of life, which is something that we're going to start introducing. They're introducing the credit check on tenants, which we'll be introducing into our process to ensure that the default rate is very limited. And actually, I think it's probably happened 3 or 4 times out of close to 400 properties. So it's a very small chance, small time it's happened. However, it's a risk that yes, people take. I think last question here. Will you consider risk rating per property? But potentially, yes. That's something that we're looking into. So that's a great question. And then do we have a plan to add USA properties in the portal? I think right now we're so focused on the region. As I said, United Arab Emirates and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia have fantastic potential. However, uh, that's something that I always get excited about is really enabling people to invest from one app in many cities in the world. So at the end of the day, with what's going on in the US right now, as you know, the economy looks like it's going to be on a tear for the next 4 years with what the President of the United States is doing. Uh, let's never say never. We may get some properties there. Last one was we love you. I love you too. I enjoy doing
I
this.
think you had a fan.
Thank you so much for joining. Oh wait, we still have 3 minutes. Maybe it was covered Camarento and come into my account, not my wallet. Um, as of now, not yet, but we may be implementing something that will enable direct transfer straight into your bank account. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, right now, unfortunately, we can't do that. The money needs to go straight into your wallet, and then you can withdraw it. Literally, withdrawing it is a press of a button. I know it might be annoying for some people, but right now, that's what we can offer. Oh, no more questions. Um, well, if there are any questions, I'd like to thank everyone for joining. And I'll just, end with this to say that 2025 is going to be the most exciting year for us in our journey so far. We're live in two markets. We've created an app for the first time in the world where you can invest in two markets seamlessly from one app. Something we're super proud about. We're really uncovering and opening up a market like Saudi Arabia to people from around the world. We have some exciting developments in Dubai that are coming up this year. Um, Additions to the product, opening up new cities. As I said, looking to go into Abu Dhabi soon. 2025 is going to be a huge year for us, and thank you for everyone who's really supports us and believes in what we're building and believes in our app. And really, we can't thank you enough. And thank you for taking the time out of your evening to attend this webinar. So stay tuned. Lots of great things happening this year. And yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.